All right, all right, all right, all right. Let's see if this thing is working. Let me know if you can see and hear me and all that good stuff. But hi, Bailey. Hi, Mama Ward. Nice to see you guys. Yeah, we were talking about volcanoes in the chat, and there's something weird about these potentially deadly threats when they're further away. It's like, ooh, that's pretty. But like the thought of actually being near them is like terrifying. But I guess that makes sense because I'm the same way with snow. Snow when it's on the other side of the glass is very pretty to look at. Snow when I have to slug through to get to school, not so fun. Da, 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 da. Melody's joined us as well. Here, all so we've got Mama Ward with us this morning. Bailey's here. I caught Bailey's Twitch stream the other day. Is it Tuesday? It's Tuesday, another day, and Saturday, right, Bailey? I can't remember the middle day right now. My brain just blanked, but there was a really cool conversation about like representing characters, especially in historical fiction, because it can be can be a dangerous line to walk. Oh, you've changed your schedule. Okay. I would rather blizzards than hurricanes because I can move the moisture with a shovel. Well, that's true. It's a lot harder to shovel rain, but I don't know. Blizzards, I feel like hurricanes can do more structural damage because they can rip off the roof. But at the same time, blizzards can just make everything grind to a halt. Oh, okay. So Bailey, you're going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Wow. Once a week is like all I can manage. That's impressive. That's impressive. So that's 6 a.m. Mountain Time. Okay. And then Thursdays and Sundays off. So basically any morning you want to get some stuff done, Miss Bailey's got you covered here. So let me know what you guys are working on today. I'm a little annoyed, a little relieved, because basically I was trying to transfer a large amount of my aggregate data from my live cell imaging system. I never know how much big words to use. The computer that takes pictures of my cells had like a terabyte of data in it. And in order to analyze the data, I need to get it off that computer and onto my computer. So this has been a recurring problem. It will continue to be a recurring problem. Basically, it needs to run all weekend. And I was hoping it would finish on Friday so that I could play with the data over the weekend, but I couldn't do that. So instead, I'm going through new journal articles and collaborating resources, and I'm trying to puzzle together some data analysis strategies and record everything in my lab book. So there will be a lot of handwriting today for me, which I'm not looking forward to be clear. I don't like writing by hand. Yeah, blizzards crush roofs, which I know is a big concern for us on our porch, but it's still like, I don't know. I'm less scared of them. Maybe it's just because I've lived through more hurricanes, so I'm aware of how deadly they can be, but everyone's got their own natural disaster flavor. Ooh, big world building project going off, so I don't have to worry about the historical accuracies. There we go. There we go. World building is its own special monster, though, especially if you get detailed into it. I used to love using The Sims to world build just a little bit, like sort of get me the flavor of it, but obviously that's limited, so. Yes, yeah, Bailey's got you covered there. Hey, Suey, how are you doing? Hello, hello. We had a roof collapse under the weight of all the snow one year. Yeah, like I know it happens, but I haven't ever seen it. We did have a tree go through my roof when I was 10, though, so that was interesting. Like it fell over and a branch just stabbed into my bedroom, which was fun. I mean, it was nowhere near close to the ground or stabbing into me or anything, but it was still stressful. It was stressful. Okay, so Does everybody have their coffee? I was nagging you in the beginning. Make sure you've got your caffeine or non-caffeine if you're doing things. Oh, hey! Matilda, the nerdy book nerd, is here. Hey, how are you doing? Matilda and I are actually working on a thing. We're going to be doing we did a baking experiment video, which I am working on editing, Matilda, I swear. I just need to figure out how to process my data first. And then I can start focusing on YouTube-y stuff. Finishing a heavy edit of my werewolf religious war so I can write the rest of the third. Okay, this is from the same series then, I assume. Midnight again for me, more edits. Time zones are weird. Time zones are weird. Our barn lost its roof during the bomb cyclone of 2019. That I don't even know. The bomb cyclone? Did they name cyclones? This shows how much I know about cyclones. Hurricanes, I know. Cyclones, no idea. I should get away from my desk and tidy or something, but instead I'm sitting here finishing my lunch. Might end up crocheting later. Crocheting is productivity. I don't see the problem. Like, use one of the short sprints to tidy and then just spend the rest of the time chilling out with us. It'll be fun. All right, let's see. I've started using World Anvil to world build to create a Wikipedia of the world, hoping to publish during the summer. My anthropology brain requests all of the details. See, that I find is the hardest part with world building, is that you have to create a fully fleshed out universe. But at the same time, I find books that spend the first 3 chapters explaining a universe to me, I don't get past those chapters. I'm like, I could have pieced this together if it was in plot. It didn't need the extrapolation in the beginning. So there's always a balance when you're trying to deal with world building, one that I'm not good at. So I just critique the books I read and be like, they didn't do well. Not that I could do any better. Oh, essay plan open, resources at the ready. Okay, yeah, we're getting ready to kick it off here. The longer the baking mess stays off the internet, the better. It wasn't a mess. It wasn't a mess. It was perfectly edible. Unless it wasn't. But I think it was perfectly edible. I love when authors hit the world build from the anthropology angle. Yeah, there's a lot of nerds in the world building sort of subspecies. Oh, Bailey is on Twitch, Mama Ward, as collab books or cola books. I can never quite remember which way I'm supposed to say that. Okay, they name winter storms. Yeah, so some of you are in a different. Okay, so if you're in the US, you've changed time zones. I haven't. So it gets confusing. Can we just stop doing the time zone thing? It gets very, very annoying. Okay. Lowest barometric pressure. Okay. Steve the hurricane. I have a section in my Revelation Night prologue chapter that is titled The Boring World Building Part. Hey, if it's in a prologue, I'm good with it. I'm good with it. Yes. Oh, that's weird. The Twitch doesn't work, but YouTube does. I know I had trouble creating an account for a long time. Okay, so yeah, parts of Canada are doing the time change too, but yeah, daylight savings all year round. Yeah, if we could just pick a system and stick with it, I'd be happy. It's the switching that gets me, especially because we're all switching at different times. Like, it's going to take just as much effort to get everyone to agree to switch on the same day as it would get everyone to agree not to switch. So I say we don't switch. But we have been talking for about 10 minutes, and I need to figure out the hot mess that is my protocol sheet, which is in here somewhere. Where is it? I can't lose it. There we go. Look, this is the checklist I use when I'm in the lab. I have to do each one of these steps for each one of these things. This is the only way I can keep track of things. That's a giant pain in the butt, but I can print this, so that's good. All right, so we should get to it. What are we thinking? Like a 10-minute warm up? I've been trying to fiddle about with some new timers, but I have a few that I like, and I just keep using them. Oh, hey, Writing Violet has joined us. Hey, Writing Violet. Good morning. Okay, let me pull up a timer. I love how I'm like, oh yeah, give me your input. And then I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna pull up the timer. I already know which one I want. Makes it easier. Oh, okay. If it's early in the morning for you, please make sure you stretch before you resign yourself to becoming a keyboard gremlin all day, because your spine will thank you for it. And I've already nagged you all to get your coffee or your tea, but if you're new here, or if you just popped in, make sure you have your warm beverage of choice, and, not or, and water. Okay? Hydrate or dihydrate, people. Yes, exactly. Hydrate or dihydrate. All right. Stretch, drink your water, save as you go, and as always, I will see you on the other side. All right. Okay. Where am I? It's the problem with having too many tabs open. You forget where you are. Okay, how did you guys do? Miss Stephanie Whitson popped in for just a sec, but she's got to go ahead and get on with her day. So thank you for stopping by. I just hang on while I millimolar, micromolar, nanomolar, millimolar, micromolar, nanomolar, milli, micro, nano, milli, micro, nano, it's milli, micro, nano. I swear this makes sense in my head. Hang on. Okay, it's milli. Okay. Sorry. I'm just losing my mind here slightly. We had there's always something that goes funny when you do science. So we had an incident with my last lab test where one of our chemicals we had a problem with. So we had to go raid someone else's lab to get some. I owe them cookies. And I couldn't remember what the concentration was, which is very important because otherwise I don't know what I added to my samples. So milli, micro, nano, it was milli. It was 0.1 millimolar because if it was micromolar, I'd have been in a lot of trouble because that wasn't strong enough. Okay, yes, that makes sense. Yes, so yeah, that's what I spent the last little bit of time trying to figure out was what was the concentration of vitamin D I was working with. And yes, you did spy a Try Guys video in my recommendations. I loved the Try Guys when they first started up their company. They're a little hit and miss with me these days. I liked a lot of the bigger video projects they did, like Try Guys tried driving high versus driving sleep deprived, but maybe because it reminded me of like old Mythbusters stuff. They did a lot more cool things, you know, sort of sciency, and it just these days it's more what can we do from our apartment, which you work with what you got, but it's less interesting to me. Yes. Okay, so how did we do? Mama Ward got 1 page. Melody drank all of her tea. Okay, well that means that either you need more tea or your brain is now ready to get stuff done. One of those two, hopefully. 4 billion tabs as one is making volcano noises. Just kidding about the billion part, or am I? I feel like that's my brain a lot of the times. Isn't that a meme? Like a girl's or a woman's brain is like an internet browser with 4 million tabs open, and one of them is making noise, but you're never quite sure which one. But yes, I have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 tabs up right now. Yeah. Oh, and that's just on Microsoft. That's just on Google Chrome because I also have 3 tabs of fanfiction up on a separate browser because I blocked fanfiction on the Chrome extension. Yeah. Instead of working, I'm designing a new avatar. Well, hey, there we go. That's stuff. The entire without a recipe. Yeah, and recently Try Guys have done this without a recipe retry thing. I think mostly because they're stuck at home. But that's been interesting to see because they messed it up so badly the first time. So it's interesting to see sort of if they can actually learn from that, you know, and like get better. It's not as exciting as without a recipe, obviously, but I do think it's interesting to see someone's progress. Okay, so you both need more tea and your brain is getting to work. Yeah, all of our brains are like too many tabs. I currently have half of a Lucifer fan fiction sort of percolating over here. And then I've got my data stuff, which I'm worried about kind of in this area. And then like over here is like, how much longer can I keep drinking this cup of coffee before I need to go warm it up? And then back here is a recipe for chocolate mole. And I don't know why, but I keep thinking about chocolate mole. Or I guess just mole. But you know what I mean, the sauce. What is Watcher? Is that like a I feel like I've heard of that before. Is that the one of those restrictive extensions for your computer to like make you not do the things you shouldn't be doing? Because I have a couple of different extensions on that are supposed to keep me focused. Crackbook Revival, Website Blocker. I've also got focus mode set up on my phone, so I'm not on Instagram all the time. They help, you know, they don't stop you if you're determined to like mess around, but they do help. They do make a difference. Okay, so I'm doing good, but we should be responsible, do things. And the question is, and I don't know if I should bother asking this question, do we want the Among Us timer or do we want to try something different? I will actually wait for a response this time before I just keep going. So Among Us or something else? I'm thinking 20-ish minutes. I'm purposely ignoring the gargoyle shifter fiction idea that won't leave me alone. Yeah, I think we've all had to do that as writers. It's like a new shiny idea pops into your head and you're like, no, no shiny idea. You go sit in the corner. It's not your turn yet. Ugh. I have entire TV series scripts that I've like plotted out. Am I going to write them? Probably not. Are they currently taking up brain space? Yes. I don't have a third thing to add. That's just sort of the state of affairs at the moment. Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed. Oh, Watcher Network. I have not even heard of that. I know Shane and Ryan from the BuzzFeed Unsolved. Well, okay, I'm lying. I know the show, and the names sound familiar. But if you had asked me what their names were 10 seconds ago, I wouldn't have been able to tell you their names. And Stephen from Worth It, wasn't that that was a foodie one? Huh. I know like Hank and John Green made up Complexly Media. But yes, we should get the things done. Among Us. Okay. Okay, so you've only got an hour with us, so we should go ahead and get shenanigans going. I love the Among Us timer. Did you guys know there's an hour one long? It's the funniest thing. It's so funny. Oh, now I'm just watching a Grammarly ad. Okay. Chrome tab. All right, share the timer. Sorry, you have to deal with my. We'll skip that. Okay, but so get your shenanigans in order. Have a little stretch. If you need to refill on coffee, tea, or water, make sure you do so. Please actually go to the restroom if you have to. I see way too many people in comment sections going like, I've needed to pee for the last 2 hours, but I'm gonna wait until we're done. Like, no, don't do that. That'll give you a UTI. Please don't do that. But stretch, get your shenanigans in order. Save as you go, and I will see you on the other side. All right. How are we doing? Let me stop my screen share. I was doing really good on getting my notes into my notebook, and then I had a thought about the experiment that we're going to run after this one, which is a silly thought to have because we may not run any more experiments. I'm at the data analysis stage of my science, which means that I might spend the next month just looking at computer models and staring at numbers. But I want to do a third experiment, so I'm already starting to think about things. Oh, fun fact, we know that interferon gamma has an important role in helping macrophages to fight infections. So guess what happens when you add more interferon gamma to macrophages that are fighting infections? Absolutely nothing. Yeah, we don't know either. We're trying to figure it out. But basically, we're going to eliminate that from my assay. which means nothing if you're not a nerd, but it was a thought that I had. And if I go with that thought, that means that I can go from having 3 different blood donors, which means 3 different genetic profiles, to having 6 to 8 different blood donors, which for the record is a lot more work for me, maybe even 10 or 12. But the cool thing about this project is that the different blood donors are responding to the treatments completely differently, which in normal science, everyone's like, well, I must have screwed up, or I must have gotten my assay wrong, or something is wrong. But we now know enough about genetics that individualized medicine is a thing. So we think there's something in the methylome, there's something in the experiences that these people have had in their lifetime, whether exposure to chemical agents, previous vaccinations, or maybe something that's more permanently genetic, like actually genetic. So basically, if we want to vaccinate 3 people for the same disease, we might need 3 different vaccines because each one's going to work differently. And if you could figure out a blood test to do that, that would be cool. So maybe a result, or I messed up my assay. We don't know yet. But I'm going to go with the individualized medicine angle because it makes my brain hurt less. Okay, I need to backtrack a little bit here. Because Mama Ward was talking about her really cool story. Okay, so the niece is 800 years old, uncle's 3,000 years old. Oh, that's cool. This is the gargoyle one. It sounds like a really interesting cross between fantasy and sci-fi, which a lot of your stories sort of seem to bridge that gap because they've got more building into them than a lot of traditional fantasies. A lot of times fantasies sort of like, they suck blood, but you're like, no, we know why and how, which I like. And Suey finished her edits. Okay, sent back to CP. Fingers crossed it'll be the last one before submission. Edits are always a really rough process for me just because I don't have someone consistent that I give things to, so I'm sort of on my own. But yes, congrats on being done. 5th or 6th reread. Yeah. I usually only do 2 or 3 rereads, but I space them out a lot more. Like I'll do a reread and then I'll let it sit for a month and then I'll do a reread. Okay, so thankfully it's only a short, only 3,500 words. Oh, okay, this one's for a competition. Yeah, because you were looking at competitions for a while, so that's cool. That'll be cool. Move parts of one chapter into the previous chapter. Okay, so adjusting for pacing. That's good. Oh yeah, this is where I started to get to my science. Yeah, we have a theory. On the one hand, I'm not sure I'm not allowed to say the theory, but on the other hand, there's no one in the science community who's watching my YouTube channel. So our theory is that it has to do with the number of receptors on the cell, not necessarily the amount of interferon gamma in the solution. So if you've seen the movie Lorenzo's Oil, just think like that. It doesn't matter how much there is. What matters is how much you're utilizing. So yeah, it's sort of like that. Yeah, it's similar to that. It has to do with, we think it has to do with the receptors. So hopefully we can figure it out. But if it has to do with the receptors and not the amount of interferon gamma that's in solution, then the only thing that we could do if we continued testing with interferon gamma would be to save some of the cells and find out how many receptors it has. I guess, to be honest, that's a branch of cellular biology that is new to me. So I don't even know how that test would work. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know if we're going to use like confocal microscopy or if that's something you just test the DNA for. Is it the enzymatic markers of the blood to cause the change? We don't think it has anything to do with enzymatic markers. No, it's we're looking at an epigenetic level. So not enzymes, but the methylome, which is not, and we don't even think it's the histones, but basically the way that your life imprints on your DNA. Does the blood type? I don't know, because I don't know the blood type of my donors. I just get little baggies. But I think the next time we do a test, what I need to do is either preserve some of the original blood or preserve some of the macrophages prior to infection with tuberculosis, or both. But then I have to put them in the deep freeze, and I don't like the deep freeze because you can get frostbite. It's minus 70 Celsius. Like, you do not want that thing to be open for more than 3 seconds. Thank you. I think it is. Yes, science. Okay, so originals have very different reactions. Yeah, I don't think it's. Again, I think it's more epigenetic than it is blood related, but it'll be interesting. Oh, this is the circus story you were writing. Okay, yeah, because Sui had me read her circus story a little while back, and it was a really interesting story. But the problem was it was what was that, a flash fiction contest, and it was like it could only be 1,000 words, and it was like there was so much story, so you kept getting like little glimpses, and it's like, but I want the rest of the story, you know? Oh, that's creepy. Stalking via blood donation. Yeah, I think we just need to run a bunch more assays. Because there was an article, there was some research that came out a while back about vitamin D, and the vitamin D seems to be doing something. We don't, again, until I can take confocal microscopy images or time lapse in the specific moments of interaction, I don't know what's happening. I just know that something has happened. But the only strong distinction that we seem to see is that there are clear delineations between blood donors. Like, one blood donor will react very strongly to the BCG vaccine. Another one will only react to MDP. One of them reacted to beta glucans and MDP, but like, it's a very clear difference. And then we also saw gaps in, like, it worked with the vitamin D a lot, did nothing with the interferon gamma, and then it kind of worked with the vitamin D plus interferon gamma, but not as well. So, plans. But again, this is for a test that I may not be able to run, so I should really focus on what I'm doing now. I cannot describe my love for coffee in 1,000 words either. That is too difficult a task. Yeah, so it's longer now, so that'll be good. Oh, okay, Bailey's gotta go. Go catch your bus, Bailey. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for spending your morning with us. Oh, Melody's back. Had to sort out the laundry. Yes, you walked into the middle of a nerd conversation here. They are frequent on my channel. I keep meaning to just, like, I don't know, just have a full nerd out, but it's tricky because I'm so conservative about what I'm allowed to discuss and what I'm not. Because I don't want to end my science career before it started. But, details. Oh, and I might get my name on a paper, so that would be cool, because I helped run an antibiotic assay earlier in the semester. My spine is still angry at me for that, because it was a lot of me being, like, hunched over for like 4 hours. So that was uncomfortable. But I should get back to making progress, which means that you should probably get back to making progress, which means that we are going to be responsible adults. And oh, my coffee's cold. Okay, we're going to be responsible adults, but I'm going to use part of that time to warm up the coffee. because it's cold now, which I wouldn't mind if it was 90 degrees, but it's not. It is not 90 degrees anymore. It is now, I don't know, cold. It's not freezing, but it's cold. Okay, so does another 20 sound good? I have a different Among Us timer if we still want to do the Among Us shenanigans. Now up to 3269. Okay, so the word count is climbing. Yes, a name on a paper is super cool. That's like, forget about your degree, forget about who you know. If your name is attached to enough projects of interest, that's what that's what is your resume. Okay, but so I'm thinking we'll do the Among Us, different Among Us, and I'm going to go ahead and warm up my coffee before I get back to it. Oh, God. So make sure you stretch, hydrate or dehydrate. Go ahead and fetch more caffeine if you need some. Save as you go, and I will see you on the other side. Mm. All right. Okay. There's a Post-it on my head. Cool. Cool. All right, so we had to call it a night and go ahead and leave us. Let me know how you guys did. I know we're all sort of doing different things. Some of us are writing. I'm studying. I know Melody was doing laundry earlier. It's all good. We're all just trying to get some stuff done and chat with each other while we do it. Okay, but so I am trying to I'm trying to create a master protocol checklist for one of my projects. I have one for one of them, but they vary slightly. And the problem that I keep having is that as I write a step, I'll realize that it requires a thing that I didn't mention to prepare earlier. So I've just given up on that, and I have like a whole separate page now that's just like prep and equipment, so that when I get to that step, I can be like, follow the isolation procedures for macrophages on page 12, you know? Or for 3 of the flasks, use the training agents. This preparation is described on page 26. So I can just shove the instructions somewhere else. It's going to make it harder for someone to replicate because it's not a step by step by step, like you have to hop around a little, but I can't seem to think it through with as many moving parts as it has. At least not while handwriting. Maybe I could do it if I was typing. Made more tea, found a really good article for my essay. Okay, reading it now. Do you do the thing when you're reading articles that I do? I highlight in multiple colors. Like I have 4 different colored highlighters, and then I have a purple Sharpie that I underline with, because otherwise I just, there are different things you need to keep track of. Sometimes you need to keep track of amounts or chemicals. In your case, sometimes you need to keep track of things like maybe they're referencing other resources, or they're talking about different, like if they're comparing different social media platforms, then, Twitter is one color and Instagram's another. If I'm just thinking if you did it that way, that would actually be really easy because you could just use the brand colors. But yeah, I always do that anytime I'm reading and annotating. I have to have multiple colors of highlighter. More pages and fed the puppy. Oh, I miss having puppies. Ate some food and did some reading. I'm going to call that a win. I'm going to call that a win for a Sunday morning. Oh, food sounds good. Food sounds good. I made I always get starving by the end of these streams. So I was smart and I did Future Eve a favor earlier and had a snack before. So I had what I'm calling a poor man's black bean burger. It's just toast with black beans, like melted cheese, and then sometimes I'll put cream cheese and jalapenos on the toast first. So it's like really gooey and messy and delicious. So I guess it's more like a poor man's black bean sloppy Joe at that point. I don't know. It's delicious and it's vegetarian. So I use different colored pens. Don't use highlighters. Okay. No, see, I need the big swatch of color. But I guess if you're writing more, then yeah, underlining probably helps more. It's so hard, especially like some of these are so long. This one's 27 pages. Like this is basically a novella. It's also my favorite resource. Macrophage defense mechanisms against intracellular bacteria. This has been like my holy grail. Like it's got all of it in here, including a bunch of stuff I don't need. But yeah, my poor man's black bean sloppy Joe. I'm telling you, it works. It's delicious, but it is a hot mess. So like, you can't eat it while writing things or working with paper because you'll just end up with like beans and jalapenos everywhere. It's very messy, very gooey. Okay, so I'm starting to fade fast here, but we've got plenty of time, so we should try and do one more sprint, right? Yes? Maybe. I'm trying not to get distracted by the suggestions at the end of the YouTube video for like other videos. Some of them are timers, and some of them are an Amazon Kitchen Gadgets tested video that I kind of want to watch. So, but no, I'm not going to do that. Gonna stay focused. Oh, they have a cute dogs timer. Here's a puppy in a teacup. Okay. Okay, I've seen the puppy in the teacup now. So I don't think I can do anything else. I have to do the puppy in the teacup because I want I want the doggies. I want the doggies. What do you guys think? Where'd I put that tab? Yes, okay. Doggies. Doggies it is. I use colored pens to see how much page time different characters get. Ah, okay. I used to do that with I still prefer highlight versus like just colored text, but I used to do when I would quick draft dialogue, I would highlight the character name at the beginning so then it was a very easy way to see. Like if the page is mostly orange, then whoever was orange has got too much talking. But that's what I'm doing now too. I'm doing too much talking and we should focus and do the things. Mostly because there's a cute doggo. Okay, make sure you stretch, relax your spine and your neck because neck strain is very real and it very much sucks. Mama Ward's probably going to have to leave before the end. That is not a problem. Go get your groceries. That is a heck of a drive for groceries, but go get your groceries. Everyone else, make sure you save as you go. Drink your water, drink your coffee, and I will see you guys on the other side. Mm. 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 All right, that's it. Okay, guys, give me 1 second. Turn to the incubator overnight to allow cells to adhere to plate. There we go. Okay. Look, I'm making so much progress with things. Okay, that's just a printout, but like so many things in here. Technically, these science journals are supposed to be super professional and accurate, and it is super professional and accurate, but nowhere in the handbook does it say it can't be color coordinated. And quite frankly, my brain likes it a lot better if it is, because then I can find things. So, may have bujoed up my science journal just a little bit. But oh, it feels good to be making progress. Let me know how you guys are doing. I think we're getting ready to wrap up here, but it's always nice to sort of see where everyone's at, what we've managed to get done or plan on getting done the rest of the day. I know that with the different time zones, it's a little weird. It's already 5 o'clock here, so I'm probably done here. There are still more sections to add. I need to add in my recipes and protocols for creating my training agents, which are the chemicals that I'm adding to the cells to make them better at fighting the bacteria. So I have to look up the concentrations for that because I have all of this information, but it's in about 4 million different email chains on this computer, so I need to get it in here. That's basically where I'm at. And I know we have a lot of different variety of nerds in our little group. I don't suppose any of you guys are like statisticians? Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. I know we kind of universally joke that maths is hard, but in case you guys are statisticians or know a statistician, please let me know. Because I am struggling to figure out how to compare multiple variants across a time analysis. Because an ANOVA is not cutting it. And if you don't know what an ANOVA is, then don't worry about it. This conversation means nothing to you. Oh, okay. So how are we all doing here? Okay, Melody, you're looking for some more case studies. Is this for the same paper that you were talking about before? The one that's not artifacts. I keep wanting to say artifact, which is like a false reading that your study design creates. Like I know that there are artifacts in our thing. Words are hard now. There are artifacts in the computer program that we are using to try and measure the clusters of cells, and we haven't figured out a way around them, so I just have to weed them out. But you weren't doing artifacts, you were doing affects. I think that's the word. Affects of social media and how that relates to identity. I think. We went on a tangent with that conversation last time, so I'm not sure. Yeah, ANOVA hurts. And anytime I run an ANOVA, I'm never quite certain what it's telling me. People are like, oh, it's an analysis of variance. And I'm like, yes, that is what it stands for. But what is it telling me? So I think the problem is that the people who speak numbers don't necessarily speak words and vice versa. So the people that I'm talking to don't know how to tell me how to interpret the numbers without using more numbers. And I'm like, you tell me it's a 3, it's not gonna make any more sense. Yeah, I'm gonna be pretty much living in them. Okay, so no, this is for a class essay, not your dissertation. Okay. Ooh, religious cults. I like that subject too. Why are you doing all of the cool stuff? Maybe I should have done your major. I'd have to do less math if I did your major. Okay, so I'm thinking religious cult. I mean, obviously the current one is Scientology. There's a lot of pop culture kind of talk about satanic cults, but a lot of the actual history behind that is not really yielding itself well to cults. So it's tricky because at what point do you call it a cult? You know? Okay. Social media affordances and their impact on identity construction. Okay. Affordances, that was the word. Okay, so this is the essay title. This is the new paper. Is it time to abolish the term cult as an anthropological category? Because academia has a very different definition. Yeah, I could see how that would be difficult. It's kind of, I mean, most of the sciences have the same thing where a word gets used and then all of a sudden it ends up in a HuffPost article and now people are talking about it like it means this. And I'm like, it doesn't. Like ketosis. People keep talking about ketosis like they're trying to trigger ketosis. And I'm like, please stop using that word. You don't know what it means. But that's interesting. I think because my head's still buried in numbers, I'm wondering if there's a mathematical way to categorize this. Like not necessarily like run a statistical analysis, but like with any kind of science, I feel like you need to have both qualitative and quantitative data. So it would be interesting to see like at what point do you call something a cult? And if you're not going to use that term, then do you use a different term? So it's, I don't know, that would be interesting. It would be very interesting. Yeah. Now, I don't know if it makes academia less accessible to use cult in a different term. I think it makes it more easily misrepresented. Kind of like, you know, when somebody does like a 20-year long dietary study and they're like, yes, the phenols found that these food groups can mitigate risk for this specific gene mutation, which of course then the New York Times goes ahead and publishes as broccoli prevents cancer. Like, so if something is likely to be misinterpreted by the masses, it might be better to categorize it. I mean, we use terms in our papers all the time that are specific to our papers. And then sort of if other people start using them, they become words, like real words. But I don't know. It's interesting. It's always interesting to see how science and research gets interpreted by everyone else, basically. And my dad was saying that he wishes he could see a study where they compared the effects of alcohol and the effects of sugar. And I'm like, okay, that study exists. And it's multiple studies because are you talking about neurological effects? Are you talking about effects on the liver? Are you talking about blood sugar effects? Your A1Cs? Are you talking about its addictiveness? Are you talking about its proliferation in other foods? Like, so the papers are out there, but people want a yes or no answer, and it's harder than that. So using the oversimplified terms is tricky. So many quotes like the term cult is used as a social weapon. Yeah. Yeah, I think cult is almost, when I think of the term cult, I think of like a precursor to cancel culture. You know? Like people will start doing something that the media would consider cultish, you know, and we kind of think about cults, and they'll just be like, I don't know, there's this immediate reaction to that term. that is just indicative of like pre-cancel culture to me. The label has too often been used to isolate groups in a priori theological and social grounds. Yeah. I like that. To isolate groups in a priori theological or social grounds. No, don't stop spamming about cults. I'm having fun. This is a cool conversation. But we are sort of out of time, so maybe we should pick this up next time. I will be here next week, so that'll be good. We can nerd out a little bit more and get some stuff done. And I think by next week, I believe we should all be back to being in the same time zones again. Because no, wait, I changed Sunday night, Saturday night. Sooner or later, we're all going to be in the same time zone. I'm not sure if it's going to be next week, but yes. So next week, we should hopefully be closer to being in the same time zone. But okay, so we'll leave it here for now, and we'll continue nerding out next time. So go about your days. Remember to drink water. Take care of yourselves. If you're looking for more streams, then Bailey's streaming almost every day, so that's amazing. And it's just, hopefully we'll be able to get some things done. Isolated prior just, yeah. Well, no, because the term is so, the social implications are that it's already, words are hard. What's that word for where you, like when an abusive partner cuts off social interactions for their partner? Okay, I'm going to end up down a rabbit hole with this. So we're going to go. So yes, I will be here on Sundays. The only Sundays I'm not here is the first of the month because I can't run data and stream at the same time or my computer will melt. It will melt. And you are very welcome. Take care of yourself, guys, and I will see you